Hi, I'm Ben Curry from Electrical Innovations, and I'm going to be talking about these Knipex multi-jaw croppers that have been sent for a review. So we're going to spin the camera around, we're going to have a look at how they perform. First thing we're going to do is just show the sort of thing we use for cutting them and what we used to use previously, or still use I guess. So these are our CK trusty cheap croppers. Those ones are a bit rough, quite blunt. These are a bit of a newer set, but you know, we'll get through quite a few of them. And then we've been asked to have a look at these Knipex ones. So twin jawed, front one for scoring, second one for cutting. They're flat edged, so it's a nice neat cut. They're VDE, so it's 1000 volt protection as well. And they've got these kind of pinch guards on them as well, so you can kind of hold them, they're not going to slip through your hands, as opposed to these things where holding them like this, you can soon catch your hand in there. You know, no danger like these. So that's what the spiel says anyway on the advertising. In practice, some people like to use these because they're nice and thin, and other people like to use these because they're comfier and the bigger handles, chunkier grip. I've got no real opinion. I use both different sets. I used to use just this sort of thing all the time, but more recently I've moved towards this sort of style. So no opinion either way from me there. So one of the things about these, which is one of the main selling features, is the fact that they are really easy to trim the insulation with the front set of jaws, as you can see. Not doing a very good job of showing them off, aren't I? And then chop it the second set, and that's the idea of how it's supposed to work. So front set for cutting, second set for chopping, and you can see from the image it's got a nice clean straight cut, so that's a real nice job of them. So that's the 16mm earth. This is bell wire, kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, you know. Still works, you know, you can still strip with it if you need to. If you need and precise, you can get a decent cut, and you can see I've still been able to be neat enough where it's not scored the copper. Obviously you'd never use them for this in the real world, but it just goes to show what you could be doing with them. You know, they're precise enough where you can still get a good cut. We've got normal twin and earth here. I think this is some red and black out of the scrap box. Some old 2.5 stranded red and black. Again, just, you know, quick work of that. Chop that there, look. So they're not so good at doing that if you needed to, because just the size of the jaws on them, but they're not really designed for that. You've still got your stops at the bottom, so if you are using these for second fixing for some weird way, you can still, you know, pull out the earth and all of that sort of thing. Quite nice for that. They really make short work of 2.5. So yeah, so far so good. So the main thing I think most people would use these on, in my sort of trade, domestic electrics, would be your standard 25mm meter tails, and they do an actual really nice job of that. So they can take out the outer insulation really nicely. Same again on the inner insulation, quite nicely. And then if they need to, you can, it takes some brute force, but it does chop the end, and it does a good job of it as well. Now to compare these to these, which are hella blunt, so blunt I can barely open them all. Yeah, these do one-handed chopping a lot easier. I mean, they're a bigger set, you can see, you know, so you've got your more leverage, but I don't think the Knipex are really, although they say up to 70mm, I don't think, I wouldn't want to be using these all the time one-handed like this. I'd much rather have a bigger set of croppers for the bigger cable, and use that for, you know, kind of what it's supposed to be used for. And even the smaller set on 25s, you know, if anything, they're better than both of them. I think it's because they're newer in the shop, but you can still, you know, score the insulation, pop it off, give it a haircut when you need to, another haircut with them. So, oh dear, Yeah, so these go through the 25mm tails a lot better than the Knipex ones. The Knipex ones do feel more expensive. They feel a nicer build. They look, they look a bit more polished. You're not gonna. These are all rusted, They don't last long, these sort of ones, but they are dirt cheap. So they're pretty good. I do like them. I just wonder, compared to just having a bigger set for the job, how much use I get out of them. They are sharp. They do go through, but they do need a bit of persuasion. Trying to get the best view in there as possible so you can see. That's that compared to. There you go. So that's them. Overall, they're a nice pair of cutters. These are not something I would probably ever buy, unfortunately. I can see why someone who are into, having the VDE, the ergonomic grip, you got a little thumb holder there, look, where you can, push it open with your thumb, and it's kind of, shaped. I can see why people like that sort of stuff. They're just a bit too. I know they're multi-purpose and they're this special design for doing a certain type of job. A set of them for me does the same job, cheaper, and it's actually doing a better job of cutting the tails. So overall, I don't know, they're a nice pair of cutters for sure, and I can't help thinking the thing that they're designed for, there's better items to do the job. If you're cutting big cables and you're going for these, you probably would be better off just with a bigger set of croppers, either a two-handed set or if they're really big, automatic set. That would just do a better job of it overall. But it's a shame really, because they are a nice set. I do wonder what just a big set of them, with, the VDE installation on it might look like. Bigger set of jaws maybe. So overall, yeah, that's my thoughts. All right. Sorry it couldn't be more of a positive review on them, but yeah, not bad. They're a nice set of cutters, but I think for me, I'd stick with my old trusties.